This episode is brought to you by Anivia Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball pals designed to elevate your game. At Anivia, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at anivia.com. All right, on with the show. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Pickleball Diaries. I'm, of course, Andrew Gorman, joined as always by certified pickleball referee Victor Chan. How's it going, Vic? How was Montreal?
How's everyone? Back from the sticky weather of Montreal. It was terrible. Anyway, I probably getting too acclimatized to the Alberta dry temperature over there. Is just freaking sticky all the time, and you think the rain's gonna help? Now it became the freaking sauna. The whole place is so like just anyway. But it was great. It was like more like a business trip because there's a dental conference which I'm course director for it, so that was the main purpose. And the second purpose was actually to meet up with Ernesto Fajardo, so which is the number one Canadian player in pickleball. So he was kind enough to give me a good hour and a half personal lessons on how to get better at pickleball. So it was great. Well, I was able to do some interview also with him in French and in English, so which will come in at a later time. So stay tuned on that, and I will do some editing also on that. On the course that he gave me, because no one's gonna really want to see an hour and a half him talking to me. So, but there's
I don't know. Ernesto's pretty charismatic.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, it's like he like there's times it's just downtime, right? Just him talking, and then there's nothing going on. That could be a little bit boring sometimes, but most of the time was very insightful. There is stuff you're like, oh, I wasn't thinking about this way. Or when you watch, like me and you, sometimes we watch the matches with him playing. It's like, oh, why does he do that? Why does he think about going this way? And then after the little lesson I have, I was like, okay, now it makes sense why he does that. I was like, okay, why it makes sense. I'm popping up, or I'm not being offensive enough. So anyway, I think the main lesson I was asking to teach me is like how to be more offensive, and how to be not getting caught into the dinking game and just being defensive on the dinking, not generating anything out of the dinking. So he was trying to give me some tips how to make yourself as a presence into the pickleball court, and how you can be also a threat or when you're dinking.
Perfect. I can't wait to see that, because I've gotten decent at that, but I definitely can use some more tips for sure.
So it was good. It was good. He body backed me a couple of times. I body backed him a couple of times. Like he more than mine. So anyway, but oh man, it's like it does definitely get the bruise somewhere, because he was hitting hard. And then you're like, oh my god, like my speed up compared to his speed up is like not even close.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for that footage, and waiting to take some stuff away from it. So. We are going to briefly mention the big news that happened this week in the PPA with QD getting his contract terminated. But we kind of saw this coming, Vic. We already kind of went into depth when previously when all the fines came out. So if you guys want to go do a deep dive with us in that, that's back on
season 3, this season's episode 10, so season 3, episode 10 of the Pickleball Diaries, where we spend like a good 45 minutes discussing it, and we were even pondering this as being a possibility where him and the PPA part ways. So not really as a surprise to us. It is disappointing because you're losing a big name player and someone who was very entertaining, but I got a feeling like we said, I think he's going to be just fine going over and getting those big deals over in Asia. So
Yeah, that definitely. Well, people has been already posting on Instagram and everywhere, like QD, or we call him Wang Yu. That's his actually name. We kind of knew that he's trying to go away from his UPA contract. It's tough, right? Because he got his fame from the PPA, right? So therefore, now him not able to play at the PPA tour, does he pull himself from this scenes of fame? We know he is like a big, he's big in Asia right now, especially in Vietnam. But now him not playing at the highest level, does he's gonna still be able to maintain that fame, or it's just gonna be fading out eventually, right? That's one of the biggest question we're gonna issue. We don't know. He might be able to start with his father start his own tour, right, in Asia. Then maybe that will get more relevancy out of it. But at the same time, I felt it's a big loss on both sides, right? Because it could be a super big collaboration between those two, but there's a lot of things that we don't know behind the scene. Could it be money? Could it be because of the exclusivity contract that the UPA doesn't want to leverage, or whatever the QD family wants to do in Vietnam that feels like they don't really need the help of the UPA, right? So that's a big blow. Other people are saying actually it's not a big blow for QD, it's actually for Bao now able to be in the PPA tour because everyone's his brother Bao is so funny. He's always with all the PPA player, always have fun with those, and now obviously if QD is not here, Bao is not going to come. So.
yeah, exactly right. So it looks like it came down to a combination of ego on both sides. I honestly think with all the contract stuff with the UPA going on right now, they're trying to strong arm a bunch of the players a little bit, and QD has the backfall of being able to go to Asia and being a big name and possibly doing something over there. So this was the risk. This is the risk that we were kind of talking about before, where this new deal that they're proposing, yeah, it's only benefiting those top like 10 athletes, but everyone else is kind of screwing over. So I would like if this might be it, you might see this as a trend as a couple more athletes heading over to other regions to use their fame there, especially with a bunch of countries programs now all getting into the Global Pickleball Federation. Like just in this past week, they've announced like the Philippines are in there now. A bunch of the UK is in there now. A bunch of the European countries have joined the Global Pickleball Federation. It seems like everyone's finally saying, okay, we're going to go with the one because we do want pickleball to have a shot at Olympics, and the Global Pickleball Federation seems to be the one getting all that done. So now you're starting to see all that sync up. So, and then with the World Cup coming up again, you're starting to see even more teams announced for that because that's through the Global Pickleball Federation as well, right? So,
yeah,
we'll see. Like, the top athletes are going to stay there because it benefits them, but don't be surprised if you see some of those like popular but kind of lesser players possibly move on to newer and bigger things if they think they got the chance at it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because think about it also, right? The athletes like time and or whatever era and or peak is very limited, right? So money that if someone's offering you more money, you have to jump the ship because otherwise you're not gonna get the revenue out of it. Especially right now in pickleball, which is in their infancy, there's not much revenue yet to cover. It might cover the top 10, but not gonna cover the top 50. Like I would say the rest of the top 50 have a side job other than pickleball.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's still basically what we would call a travel sport, like hockey or baseball or something like that, and especially for like you and me, like we can just say you and me alone. Like I'm traveling 5+ hours just for a tournament. Right now, I don't even get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all out of pocket, right? So until so I don't blame players at this moment for saying, oh, you're offering me this, okay, I'm going to take that bag now while I
Mhm,
can, right? Because
definitely.
I don't know if by the time it becomes a self-sufficient thing, am I still going to be at the top of my game at that point, right? So it's
Exactly.
and so yeah, you don't really blame the players for being that selfish. You'd like to see them work a little bit more collaboratively with UPA and UPA as well on their side to
Yeah.
build for like a better tomorrow. But everyone is right in like, no, I'm focusing on the present. I want my bag now type of thing, right? So
Hmm. Yeah,
which like it's
especially
understandable.
pickleball has been evolving to so much right now. Like almost you can see there's a new player breaking into the scene almost every month. So therefore, your pickleball career can be very short, even more short-lived than some other sport, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, okay, that's enough on QD. Like we said, if you want to get our full talk about the fines and all that stuff with them, that was this season. So season 3, episode 10, where we, like I said, spent like a good 45 minutes on that. Now
Hmm.
to the newest big piece of controversy. And me and Vic are going to play both sides of this. The DUPR algorithm update, where now
Oh
if
man.
you so the sales pitch was it's win or lose, you can go up or go down. So basically, if you play a player or a team that you're not expected to beat and you still lose, but say instead of getting blown out 11-3, you make it an 11-9 game, your DUPR is going to go up and their DUPR is going to go down. So obviously, right off the hop, the bonus for that is you get rewarded for performing above expectations, right? So, which a lot of people are going to like. Now, obviously, there's going to be negatives about this. There's going to be negatives about people trying to cheat the system right off the hop here. And what I said right off the bat when someone asked me, because I had someone from club ask me the other day, it's like, well, what do you think about this? I said, there's going to be growing pains for at least the first year and a half to 2 years because you're going to have higher level players not want to play with lower level players. You're going to have some lower level players who have no business moving up a bracket, trying to move up a bracket just to get that rating up,
Hmm.
right? But in the long run, is at least in my opinion, it's going to balance out because honestly, there's a lot of people right now who are rated like over 5.0 that I don't really think should be rated that. Like if you look at DUPR's rating system online,
Yeah, Andrew
uh,
is referring to me.
I'm referring to myself too. Right now, I'm sitting at like a 4.7, 4.8, and I'm competing in 4 or 5 categories, right? But like on the DUPR rating scale, so like 4.0 to like 4.5, like 4.99 on DUPR is like advanced amateur. Like you're like basically like semi-pro, right? Just
Hmm.
below pro. 5.0 and up is considered pro. And they still
Yep.
have 6, they still have 7, they still have 8. It used to be like as soon as you hit 5, that was considered pro, like even 2 years ago.
Yep.
There's a lot of people now who are 5.0 that whether it's inflating their DUPR by playing the same people over and over or playing lower level players just a bunch of times to get a bunch of wins or what have you. And they tried to stop that by having the reliability score, but the reliability score can only do so much because if you play enough games against enough bad players, the reliability
Hmm.
score will still end
Yeah,
up
we'll go
going up
up.
for you, right? So
Exactly.
the whole point of this is to try and stop people from sandbagging, which it will do a lot because now if you're sandbagging and you barely beat a team, your DUPR's dropping.
Are you suggesting I should just pull out of my men's this week this Friday?
What are you guys playing?
4-0.
4-0? Well, who else? No, I haven't seen who else is in your division. The 4-0 right now, and the 4-0 right now in Alberta men's, the 4-0 and 4-5 are actually pretty close. To be honest with
Yeah,
you,
yeah, I know. I know.
we have a lot of guys right now up and coming on the men's side who honestly right now their rating says like a 3.5, but realistically, like after I've played them, I'm like, oh no, that's a serviceable 4.0 player. They might not be at the top level of 4.0, like you could say like 4.1, 4.2 type of deal. but it makes no sense for them to stay in the 3-5 because they're just blowing everybody out.
True.
Right. And you're always going to have that. You're always going to have those people moving up who might be getting their butt kicked right now at 4-5, but for them to stay in the 4-0 or whatever, it's not beneficial for them because they're destroying everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. You just got you're working your way up, kind of like what me and Irene did the past couple of years. We started at 3-0. We won a bunch of 3-0 events. Okay, we're going to try a 3-5. Okay, we did good at 3-5. Okay, we're going to stay in 3-5, move up. Okay, now we're winning all the 3-5s. Okay, we're going to move up to 4, and so on and so forth. And we kind of did it that way, right? So, but for me with the algorithm, like, I think it's a good thing. I know for a fact there's going to be lots of growing pains, and Victor's going to come in here and say all the things he doesn't like about it. So
I'll let you talk. I would let you talk first.
This is why I'm shy. This is why I'm trying to shine the light on stuff. I'm wearing the Superman shirt because, you know, the hope. The hope thing. So
there's no hope for me. You see that's why I'm red. See that?
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, so like in a perfect world, the way I would look at this is, and this also needs to be like followed by like eventually clubs and tournament directors and stuff. But in the long run, this should balance everything out. Like I said, like I might be 4.7 right now. After a year and a half, this algorithm might say I'm only a 4-5 or I'm only a 4-4, depending on how I perform. Right? I might perform really well and actually get up to a 5-0 and actually then, okay, like, yeah, I'm a 5-0. I'm playing against 5-0 players, performing well. I'm blowing out 4-5s and 4-0s. So that's where I deserve to be. So like there's going to be people who are going to have trouble with this, and it's going to be a reality check to their ego, which honestly, every time there's been a change in the rating format, there's always been people who've had that. Like,
for sure,
with the CTPR, with when DUPR first came out, there was people like, oh yeah, I'm like a 5-0 right now, and then all of a sudden they're playing me when I first started at I'm a 4-0, and then all of a sudden I'm destroying them. It was kind of like how for a long time it's like, oh yeah, I'm 5-0 and I'm 55. Yeah, I'm going to take this like 23-year-old out, and then the 23-year-old blows them out, and the 23-year-old's only rated 3.5. It's kind of like how we had to start doing age categories. Well, now you're going to have to start being a little bit picky on the DUPR category. So maybe instead of, okay, this is a 4-5 division, maybe the max you allow someone from the lower levels to be is like a 3.99. You don't allow the full jump. Like at CTPR in Canada right now, with the exception of the open categories, if you're a 3-5, as long as your partner is a 4-5, you can play in the 4-5 division.
Yeah.
Right? You might have to change that. That might be, okay, if it's a 4-5 division, the lowest you can be is 4.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right? Like, so, like I said, that's going to have to be something that tournament organizers, clubs and all that stuff have to work out, because like I said, there are going to be people who try to cheat the system who are willing to spend money to go and lose 3 games straight, but it's going to put up their DUPR because they were like a 4-0 playing against 5-0 players, and because they scored 3 points, they're still going to go up in DUPR. Right? So, but I'll let you take it from there, Vic, with the things. I know I kind of mentioned some of the stuff you're going to talk about, but
oh man,
have at
okay, you'll have my rant on my side. Okay, I'll go for the positive first. Like you already mentioned, sandbagging. Obviously, you can now solve that problem finally, right? People with a higher DUPR technically will not. That it's not going to be incentivized to try to play with people that has a lower DUPR anymore, right? Because they can actually go down now instead of going up. So there's actually no incentive for you want to play down anymore. Another good thing, especially for, I would say, for the lower rating people, because now they will say, oh, I didn't want to challenge a higher people because every time I lose, I could lose my DUPR point. That's not going to happen anymore, right? This you have a close game. Let's say you're playing against 2 5-0s, and then you're like a 4-5-ish guys. You lost 11-9, 11-7. Let's say, okay. In the older algorithm, you're going to still lose point because you lost, right? In the new algorithm, you actually win points. You're going to actually go up by 0.05, something like that. So therefore, it's actually going to incentivize you to try to challenge yourself to going to the higher level, rather than just only want to play at the same level at all times, right? So those are the good benefit of this algorithm. Now the other side. Now it's my rant on the other side. But because you're doing this, why am I like you'll see a lot of players gonna actually now check DUPR even more. If I see all my opponents on that tournaments that have a lower DUPR, why am I playing? Like even I win, I gonna go down. Like right now, I just gonna take a couple of examples. I take example at Jacob Akawi, one of younger and good player in Edmonton. Okay, I'm just gonna show you a quick one. So in the provincial, he and Bradley beat Hoffman U and Keaton 11-6, 11-5, which is like okay, right? It's not too bad of a win, but they did go down 0.009. So you're like, what? Are you expecting me to them to beat 11-0? That's what you that's what you mean? So
well, Jake, to throw a counterpoint there, Jacob is a 5-5. So if he's playing two guys who are what, below 4-5 or like 4-5 on the dot?
They're 4-5. Both of them are 4. I saw if I go to Hoffman or Keaton, Hoffman has 4.9, and Keaton is sitting at a 4.7. Yes, you might argue, okay, Jacob is 5.5, Bradley is about 5.2. Got it. Yeah, they expect to beat them, but what is the expecting score?
With a 5.5, I'd say 11-3.
Yeah, but it hasn't been shown. There's no showing that what is the expecting score. And then I saw a couple in Facebook, someone at a 5-0 playing against some the whole team around like a 4.2. They beat them pretty badly, 11-3, and their DUPR still went down 0.01. What the hell? Am I supposed to beat them 11-0? So that's the that will have also have an issue in the tournament. Got it. Granted, in a tournament you want to win whatever point possible, but now there is no more of I want to okay, I can take it off a little bit. It was gonna be no, sorry, you gotta eat every freaking ball possible because I need to maintain my DUPR. You gotta eat 11-0, 11-0. It is what it is. So that will and also on DUPR league that could have this issue too. There's some league I saw on Facebook, a 5-0 playing against someone's around 5-6, 5-7. They have a DUPR league. They went all the way to 15. Okay, so they won 15-7, 15-8. Their DUPR went down 0.25. Are they supposed to win 15-0, 15-0 again? So those DUPR league now is gonna be even more competition. People is gonna say, I gotta back everyone. Whatever you gotta eat it. You gotta eat it, right? So now it becomes like almost like an animosity, or even more than they used to be. And on another problem, especially in the States, more than what we gonna have, is all those lower DUPR people will just say, you know what? I want to get my DUPR up. I'm just gonna play on the pro qualifiers. I gotta pay for going for the pro qualifiers because now I can get my DUPR up. I'm not gonna get my DUPR down, especially playing against those 6-0 people. I just need to score 1 to 2 points. I'm gonna get my DUPR up. What do you think about the higher DUPR people? It's like, why the hell am I playing now? Like my DUPR is gonna go down regardless of when I'm gonna play them, because pickling someone is very difficult. Like I'm telling you, it's not easy to pickle someone, right? Sometimes you're like, I'm already up like, let's say 9-0 or 10-0 on a match to 11. You might take a little off, trying to do something different, right? Just to change it up or whatever, because you're like, oh, I'm already up that much. I don't need to go for pickle. But now it looks like DUPR is now incentivizing you to just pickle everyone. That's gonna really create a big animosity, I would say, into the game especially because of this new algorithm. Granted, sometimes you're gonna say it's just gonna be a 0.00, like the third decibel of the basically of the DUPR. So it's like, who cares? People is like, oh, who cares? It's just a third decibel. Well, unfortunately, there's people that really cares about those. Most of the people that is on DUPR will be looking this very carefully. So that's what I want to feel like. I will say winning should not be. You should not have your DUPR going down. That's what I'm saying. Like the other side, I would say losing to a higher level player, that's okay. You can have a little your DUPR adjusted, right? Your DUPR going up. I don't mind that, because like a 5-0 against a 4-5, instead you losing to them 11-1, 11-1, you lose them 11-9, 11-8, shows that you're actually closer than what you're supposed to be, right? But the guys that lost that match should not be being going down, because otherwise you will have this problem in most of the city, which is already starting. Is those higher DUPR people is like, I'm not going to play anymore if I want to secure my DUPR, or if I want to play, I gotta check your DUPR. Are you DUPR 5, or are you DUPR closer to 4.5 or something? You're not. Sorry, I'm not playing. Right, that's a bigger issue. Smaller city like you, Andrew, you won't have this problem. Bigger city like me in Edmonton is already showing.
Well, my counter argument to that is suck it up. It's a sport. You play to win the game. You play to perform your best. If you can beat someone 11-0, you beat them 11-0, especially in a tournament setting.
Yeah, I know.
If you're talking about DUPR games on the side for rec, that has to be agreed. That's agreed upon by all parties before that game even starts. And if people want to be sourpusses about it, but if it's tournament level, if it's a tournament event, and I'm up 9-0, I'm not taking my foot off the gas, because that's how comebacks happen.
I know,
but what I'm saying is people are just going to have to deal with the reality check. Maybe you're not at, maybe these 5-6 guys who are complaining about this, maybe you're not actually a 5-6.
Maybe, but I'll give you another counter argument. Do you see any rating system in a sport that actually bring your rating down if you win? Any?
There's not enough sports that have rating systems to use that comparison.
Well, you take it the closest one, tennis. If you win, you go up, or you just stay the same. You never go down. You drop down in your world ranking if you lose. If you're like the 5th overall and you lose to the 120th, you drop down in ranking. No, think about you winning. If you win, you never go down. You only go down if you lose.
But they're doing just rating. They're not doing, because the way Pickleball is doing is you have that rating.
No, there's a new rating. It's called the UTR. The UTR, that's how it works. Yeah, and that's what. Also, there is a UTR Pickleball that is coming up. Actually, roasted DUPR on that one.
Maybe UTR better get their ass into the game and sponsor a bunch of events, because now DUPR has the stranglehold on everything.
I know it's starting to shift, because UTR is official rating for the APP and whatever US sanctioned event, and I am feeling because of that everyone is now quitting DUPR and turning towards the UTR right now in US. So I don't know the percentage at this point, but if DUPR is not changing their algorithm, or it's not adjusting the algorithm quick enough, that UTR is going to take over.
Well, we'll see. But to me, I don't look at my DUPR rating hard enough as that much of a thing. Like, if I win the tournament, I win the tournament. That's what I care about.
Yeah, for sure.
If I win the match, I win the match. Like, so for example, if I go to nationals this year, and now more than likely if I win, I don't because I've looked at most of my divisions and brackets. I don't think there's enough guys who are super low for me to drop a massive amount if I win like 11-9 type of thing.
Mhm.
But in the end, I'm playing to win the tournament. So if I like, for example, if you take Jacob, for example, he won gold at provincials. So I won gold. I won the tournament. So I don't really care if my DUPR went down.
Well, maybe,
Because
but
what people are going to look at in the end is, did you win?
I know, but now
DUPR also has your win-loss percentage, because that's actually going to get looked at a lot more now too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they have the percentage of your win-loss percentage, your average partner rating, your average opponent rating, and also has, what's your win percentage after winning the first set? What's your win percentage after losing the first set? What's your win percentage after this happens, right? So you can break down, because we're playing the analytics game now, you can break that down a lot. But if you want to use other examples, that's like that. But it's basically saying this, they're giving you, and the reason why they're kind of doing this is because they want to be able to say this is what's the expected score, because this is getting into gambling now.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because right now the CNPL's already done this. Did you notice at the last event before the match started? It's like here's this for each matchup. It's like, this is the expected win based off DUPR ratings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we had upsets in there, and we had ones that won, right? Mm-hmm. Because the more analytics you can throw at something, the easier it is to bet on things, right?
Yeah.
And then same thing, that plus minus, like you could almost start doing what football does, where it's like, okay, they're going to win plus or minus X amount of points. Because now that you have that expectancy thing, like, yes, like I said, there is flaws in this system. It's not even close to a perfect system. I understand the reasoning for this, though. Like, you're getting rid of sandbagging, which is probably the biggest plus out of this thing, because nobody's going to want to sandbag now, especially if they care about their DUPR rating. There might still be one.
Agree on the sandbagging, right? This part is definitely, I agree. Like it is actually really like. It solved the one of the biggest issue of tournaments, right?
But if I'm looking at it as a high level competitor who's I'm not what you would call a pro, but I like to compete at my highest level possible. It's performance based. So like, I want to be playing at my peak as much as possible. So if my peak means I should be blowing these other teams out 11-3, 11-2, and I have an off game, and I allow them to get to like an 11-9, or even like say I win 12-10. It's like, I got out of that because I wasn't playing my game. Now I still won, and the fact that my DUPR went down says, yeah, you know what? You should have beat them. What the hell were you doing? So it's pushing, like, as much as people aren't going to like it, it's pushing you to play at your best consistently.
Sure.
It's basically rewarding consistency. So if you're supposed to be blowing everyone out and you do, your DUPR is going to stay the same or go up. If you're performing above expectations, if you're that lower level player, your DUPR is going to go up. If you are playing below expectations but still squeak out a win, you get punished for it. Like I said, it's not the greatest system, and like the biggest issue is dropping down is that's going to be the biggest issue with everyone right now, and they might tweak that in a couple months, right? I can guarantee you they had to have some type of counter in there. The fact that, if you were supposed to lose but you came back and didn't lose, you go up. But because it's an algorithm and there has to be minus, because you notice how if you go up so much, the other team usually goes down almost roughly the same amount. If you look at most DUPR matches, like if I go up 0.25, the other team kind of went down 0.25, depending on what the difference in level was.
They want to equal.
Yeah, they want to try and make it equal, which is that's a math thing, and that's an algorithm thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they tweak the algorithm a little bit. I do think this is a step in the right direction, but it definitely will need some tweaking.
Oh yeah, definitely is tweaking, obviously I didn't talk about the other things too, right? Those up and down depends also on your reliability score, right? If your reliability score is higher, the jump might be very slow, or up and down might be smaller. If your reliability is low, that up and down can actually fluctuate pretty significantly.
Yeah, which is also a good thing, because it should work off the reliability score. Because if it says you're 5-0 but your reliability score is 10, and then you get beaten by a 4-0, you should drop down a hell of a lot more, because unless it's that 100% reliability, or at least in the green, well, are you really a 5-0, or have you just not played a bunch of games against people lately?
That's true too.
And we both know, you take time off in any sport, people are going to start passing you.
For sure.
Right? Like it's like anything, when they say don't take your foot off the gas, or don't take your foot off their throat, type of thing. Like if you start spinning or if you're using the gas analogy, it's like if you take your foot off the gas, you're getting stuck in the mud, and then your tires start spinning, and the other person passes you. Type of thing, sure. Right? There's 1,000 analogies like that. So like, I like the, if you want to say, spirit of this idea. There is lots of faults in it, and there's going to be people who, like you said, are like, okay, I'm going to go to the Challenger Series, spend however much money just so my DUPR can go up a little bit. Most people, like we said, because this is a travel sport and most of us can't play this for free, and we all have to budget our playing.
Yeah.
The few people who have the monetary ability to do that will do that, especially if they have, and that's also a mindset. If you have zero shame in going and getting yourself blown out just to get yourself up a couple points, and you want to blow like $200 on that, go nuts. Most people, and I'm going to say the majority of the pickleball playing population, is going to be like, okay, well, do I want to challenge myself, or do I want to stay where I'm at? Okay, I'll stay where I'm at. Or if I want to challenge myself, okay, I'm going to push. And hey, if I perform well, I get rewarded for it. Like, for example, I'll use an example for me. So when we played an MiLP at Mega Courts in Calgary a month or two back, me and Irene played against Kim Layton and Chris Allain, two pro players in the CNPL.
I know.
And this is rally scoring to 21. So if you were to take what the expected score of in DUPR for that was probably what, a 21-7, 21-9.
Probably, yeah.
If that, because Irene's like a 4.8, 4.9. I'm a 4.7, and we're playing against like a 5.6 and a 5.5 or something like that.
Yep.
So almost a full rating difference, right? And we lost 21-16. It was a really, really good match. We played really, really well. Like Kim and Chris came up and complimented us after, right? If you look at that thing, they went down 0 and we went up 0. I'm like, okay, for that performance, like, okay, I can live with the fact that I didn't go down at all. But, like, I played really well against, like, one of the best female players in the country and one of the best male players in the country. Like, I should be able to go up a little bit for that performance. Like, come on.
True. I agree.
Right. But like I said, like, if depending on how much they care about their DUPR, because they're already playing on the pro level, right? So I don't know how much pro players already care about their DUPR.
I don't think for them that they care that much, obviously, right? Because they're already an established player, right?
Well, they established that they're a pro player, and they already are playing in events. They're already getting invited to stuff, and they're already getting drafted by teams and stuff. So, because it's fine, like when you do that, they used to have that series. I can't remember who did it, where it was like guess your DUPR, and they're asking pro players, and exactly. Half of them had no idea what their DUPR rating was, right?
But because
they're established.
It makes sense too, right? Because they're established, like they already have a much higher DUPR that actually there's almost, I can say, no more relevancy for them.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, but for those people who are at like that cusp of 5-0, who are complaining about that, I'm like, okay, well, have you been consistently winning tournaments? Like, have you consistently been winning 4 or 5 plus tournaments? If you have, then who cares? You're already at the peak of that 4-5 category. Now it's time to move over and go into the open category. Yes, you might get beaten a couple of times, right? But that's the whole point. Like you ask any pro, they say, okay, what's the step I should take before I go pro? And a lot of them will say, okay, make sure you're winning 5-0 tournaments or 4 or 5 plus tournaments consistently before you try to make that pro step.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, like, honestly, for me, like, I'm at 4.7. I don't think I'm going to get to 5 by the end of this year, unless like I go to nationals and completely like curb stomp everybody. And I'm playing in men's, I'm playing with a guy I've never played with before, never met before. So who knows how our chemistry is going to work. Right. And me and Irene have had like more often than not, like I would say it's a 90-10 thing where we're on and we're at least podium, and then we have that 10% like we had at the season opener where we don't play well.
unfortunately.
Right.
But it did play well in men's, and which is good, right?
Yeah, right. So, but what I mean, like for me to get up to 5 at this point by the end of this year, like, yes, it would be cool to say, oh yeah, I'm a 5-0 at this point, but like, you know what? I'm playing at the highest level I can at my club in Peace River. If I get 5, it's not like we have a separate 5-0 division in our club. We have a 4-5 plus division in our club, and there's only about 4 or 5 of us in it. So even if I get to 5, it's like, hey, what am I going to play by myself? Because we're going to have a 5-0 division, like, and like, so like we do rated play according to DUPR, but we don't, like, we schedule separate days if you want to use them for DUPR games, and then people agree to that, right? And I told other members of our club, because they asked, oh, are you going to come out to the DUPR games? I said, you guys have to get your rating up right now, because if it's a DUPR game, I'm playing it like it's a tournament game.
Yeah, you play differently, right?
Right. I said, and that's fine. And some people can handle that and some people can't.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those things. It's like, hey, if you're going to care about your DUPR rating, that means you care about competitive play, which means you should be going to tournaments. If you don't go to tournaments and you care about your DUPR, I don't know what your mindset is. You're doing it for a status thing. You're not doing it because you're competitive. So guess what? If your DUPR drops because you keep losing or not blowing someone out, that's on you for not going and competing at the highest possible level you can compete at. And when I say highest possible level, I don't mean you have to go play pro. Whatever your level is, competing at that highest level. So if you're a 4-5 right now, go play at a bunch of 4-5, at the 4-5 categories in tournaments.
Sure.
See if you can podium. If you're podium consistently, then your rating is reflecting what you actually are. If you're blowing everyone out, okay, maybe you should start going into open. But if you're like, say, a 4-7 and you're playing in the 4-5 and there's a couple, like, 4-0s or 3-5s who've moved up and you can't beat them, guess what? You're more than likely only a 4-5, not a 4-7. It's just you haven't played enough games for the algorithm to balance you out yet. And there's going to be a lot of 5.2s, 5.4 players that are probably going to regress to a proper mean where you're more likely a 4-9 or a 4-8. Or a 4-7.
Andrew's talking about me right now.
And this is not a shot at Vic. Because I know Vic was like, I know you posted earlier this year, I finally got to 5-0 and stuff like that, which
silently talking about me.
But no, but you go and compete. But you go and compete. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you're well, but you're also reffing more. Like, if you weren't reffing, you'd be competing all the time.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, the biggest reason why you don't compete as much as you probably would like to is because you're reffing and you have that affection for reffing. Like, you want to do it, you want to succeed at it, you want to progress the game forward. You're training other players or other refs.
We don't have enough tournaments. Like, if I missed some tournament not reffing, well, I don't have enough. Like, if I was in the States, that would be a different story because there is almost tournament every week.
Oh yeah, you could be like, you could be like, okay, I'm gonna play these 2 weeks, I'm gonna ref these 2 weeks, play these 2 weeks, ref these 2 weeks, because there's literally like a tournament every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not the case here. Like, I don't have that that opportunity. If like almost like if there's a facility that can do almost 1 to 2 times a month. Like a sanction, we're not talking about a non-sanction, a sanctioned tournament, then I will probably even pick. I'll just ref one sanction and I'll play one sanction every month.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, and that's what it comes down to. It's like right now, and like that's the same for me. Like you look at me, I played the season opener and a bunch of and a couple MLP tournaments. My next tournament is nationals because I'm missing this weekend because I got to work.
Yeah, and then you're missing Red Deer too.
I'm missing the Red Deer. I'm missing
the Bennett.
Yeah, because Irene's going down to the Tracy Bennett thing, and I was looking at possibly playing in the men's, but right now when I looked at last time, there was no one to play. There was no one I could play with because everyone who was playing has already signed up, and you're reffing.
Yeah, I'm reffing, unfortunately.
Right, so I can't grab you. One of my other partners, Cam, already has a partner because I said I don't know if I can get it off. I managed to get it off after the fact, but he'd already found a partner. Someone else I'd already played with had already found a partner. So it was at that point where it was like, yeah, I don't really have. So I might go down and, just maybe go do a drop-in thing at Megacourts or whatever, seeing how that's where Irene's going to be playing for that. But just to keep my game up. But yeah, so then I got nationals and then I got like nothing after that, like unless another MLP thing comes.
Technically, there's no tournaments after September. Like real tournaments after September. But I think there's a question I want to ask. You're probably gonna actually mention it on the pod, but I want to ask now. I saw the Atlantic Regionals is gonna be in September, right? So we know that there's no more technically no more regionals across the board. Do you know why there is a Atlantic regionals now in September?
I'm wondering if maybe so Atlantic Regional. So what's that going to be? Newfoundland, Halifax, Nova Scotia, PEI.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be end September. I think I just saw on Pickleball tournament.
Because I'm pretty sure Newfoundland had their provincials already. If I remember seeing a post about it, I don't know.
Newfoundland had it. Nova Scotia already had it. I don't know about New Brunswick.
Yeah, New Brunswick. Yeah. So they might have, the 4 provinces just might have got together and say, "Okay, we're going to do a big sanctioned event," and just call it the regionals. Like the 4 provinces might have all got, like the 4 provinces pickleball organizations might have got together and just agreed upon it.
Gotcha.
Right, and because it's still a sanctioned event, and maybe they're making it like a level. What's the highest level? Level 3 or level 1? I can never remember which way the numbers go.
Level 2. It's level 2. Level 1 is the highest. Level 2 is the regionals and provincial. Level 3 is like we call the others, like the Spruce Grove will be a level 3.
Okay, yeah. So they might have, okay, we got enough refs, we got enough people signed up. This is going to be a level 2 sanctioned event, and then that way, Pickleball Canada helps subsidize some of that, because that's the new thing with Pickleball Canada right now is
they're going to give some incentive.
They give some type of subsidy or something depending on what the level of tournament is, right? So which makes it a little bit easier for organizers. So my guess with that would be is the 4 province governing bodies got together and said, "Okay, let's do this because there's probably only so many players in Newfoundland." Because as someone who lived there for almost 10 years, it's not a massive province and it's a little spread out.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you have the Conception Bay Central area, which is still spread out. Like it's like 12 to 15 towns that are all spread out, and then you have like the St. John's area, and then the next closest place is about, with like a decent sized population, is about 2 or 3 hours away. Right, because like even for me, like when I lived in Conception Bay Central, I was still about a 45-minute drive to an hour from St. John's. Right, so for if you're taking Newfoundland, then PEI we already know is freaking tiny, right? Halifax, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick are a little bit bigger, and they're so close together that you could basically there's probably players from each. If they were doing provincials, they'd probably go and play in both because they're so close to each other, right? So
yeah, that's probably you.
Yeah,
probably right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 4 governing bodies got together and said, "Hey, let's do a big Atlantic Canada tournament." Because it's not it wouldn't be the first Spurt's first sporting event where they've done that. They've done that for softball. They've done that for hockey. They've done that for like so many other sports, curling, all that type of stuff. So and those 4 provinces are usually very, very good at dealing with each other. Like there's not a lot of animosity. Like aside from oh, we're Newfoundland, we beat you, Nova Scotia type of thing. Like the fun rivalry thing, but there's no like animosity to the point where we're not going to work with you type of thing between those provinces.
Like Ontario.
Yeah, like Alberta and Ontario. Like God, it's like pulling teeth. And it pisses me off. I'm like, we're all the same goddamn country. Like work together and make a good event, please. It just frustrates the hell out of me. So my guess is that the 4 governing bodies got together and just decide to do let's do a big sanctioned tournament to like cap off the year, especially in those provinces where the weather gets bad really quickly for outdoor play.
Well, talk about that. I'm trying to look at it somewhere else. Anyway, I'll find it later on.
But it is a little disappointing that the regionals got shut down because they were good. I know at least for
I found it now. It's on the September 25th to September 28th in Nova Scotia.
Nice. Halifax?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, probably in the same spot where
exactly.
That's probably the same spot where nationals were hosted. Yeah. And probably because they did a decent job host. Like I know there was complaints about the floor and stuff, but they just hosted an event with like 700 plus athletes. So like, well, hey, let's like make this like a yearly thing and continue to host and get players. Like I think Regina should do something like that every year at their trade center where they've hosted nationals and they've hosted the Western regionals.
Yeah, they should be hosting more regionals, right? Because I would say they are almost the only facility for the moment that can actually pull up more courts than what they can do, right? Because right
well,
now
until Spruce Grove opens up, right? So
yeah, if Spruce Grove opens up, and then there's a different story. Which shout outs to them. They actually might. They just broke ground, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully they will be ready for next year. Crossing finger provincials.
I'd say like if they're ready, I want them to host provincials, and then I would like them to bid for the 2027 nationals.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because the nationals are coming back to the West End. Because next year it's going to be in the East again, but then of course it switches back over. So that would be perfect. Because then you'd get two massive tournaments back-to-back years, get money flowing into that facility, right? Because you just spent so much money getting that thing built.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Quebec is opening a couple of big facility. There's a small city called Sudbury Valley Field, which is like almost 45 minutes. 45, yeah, with the traffic, 45 minutes out of Montreal. They opened up a good 20 court facility over there, so that could be possible. But anyway, that's too far away thinking.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's move on to MiLP because there's lots of events that just got announced. Unfortunately, none of them in Alberta and Ontario. What the hell, guys? Get your shit together. I'd like to play in some more because those events are fun. So shout out to Emily and the crew with Montreal Pickleball in Kirkland. They have 4 coming up. So this
one
weekend,
each month, basically.
Yeah, one each month. They got this weekend, July 19th in Kirkland, Quebec. August 23rd, September 14th, and October 26th. Shout out to them. That is awesome. IPOP, who is hosting the Western Split this weekend in Burnaby, has September 6th and 7th, which will be the same time as the Metro Split for the CNPL. But shout out to IPOP. Once again, that's like what their 3rd or 4th time hosting one now.
I will say 3rd. That should be
right.
Third.
Yeah, right. So shout out to them. Shout out to Emily and is it Montreal Pickleball or just MTL? I'm not sure. Does the MTL just stand for Montreal?
Technically Montreal. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, shout out to that group in Kirkland for getting on it and getting those events up, because that's what we were talking about in previous episodes. Like you need to keep this thing moving and keep it relevant. Like we'll say this really quick because we've already done a crap ton of bitching about this, but Alberta and Ontario, get your shit together. You have 2 of the highest populations of pickleball players in the country, and you don't have any MiLP events. Like what the hell's going on? Like come on,
someone needs to pick that up.
Like I don't care if it's high sports. I don't care if it's Smash Pickleball in Ontario. There's a bunch of pickleplexes opening up in Ontario coming up. I don't care who hosts it. Someone hosts it. Here in Alberta, it's between, like in Calgary, there's only 2 spots. It's either the Calgary Pickleball Center or Mega Courts right now until I know there's the
YYC.
Oh, the YYC. So yeah, one of the 3 of you, Mega Courts, you already did one, host another one. I will drive down and play in it. Edmonton, the Yankees hosted one. Host another one, please. Or I don't care, Pickleball Center or Hub. Someone host it. Raise, I don't care. Somebody hosts the damn event. Get these games going. Okay? Like this is not just for fun tournaments where you can win money and win swag. This is also for those of you who, like we said before, have aspirations to possibly play pro or even remotely think about playing pro. This is the gateway to the CNPL. And also the gateway to become a member of Team Canada, right? Exactly. Which we will jump into right now. So there's going to be the World Cup happens every. It started last year, but last year,
2 years ago. 2 years
ago in Lima in Peru. So Lima hosted it 2 years back to back. This year it's going to be in Fort Lauderdale in Florida.
Yeah,
and there is a crap ton of teams. In their massive facility.
Very nice facility.
Yeah. and there's already a crap ton of teams already like committed to going and stuff like that. Like just follow World Cup of Pickleball or Global Pickleball Federation on Instagram, and they are announcing like a different country like every single day. So with that, Full Send Pickleball, of course, who with you and Suki, who run MiLP in Canada, are also heading Team Canada. So you got Yui Lau is the GM of Team Canada. Yep. We have Eric Yun as the coach. Ricky Loretti, who's the owner of the Toronto United Pickleball team, is the director of team operations. And then we've got a bunch of people on the selection committee. So we got Commissioner Mike from the CNPL on the selection committee. We have Caitlin Soroka Chapman, who played in the CNPL last year, having her recovery from her ACL tear. Shout out to you, Caitlin. Hope your recovery keeps going well. I think
she's posting a couple of Instagram posts. She's actually recovering very, very well. Yeah. I think she's just I will say she didn't want to stress load yet playing pickleball, but by what I'm seeing, sorry, I'm not stalking, but just seeing on the some feeds, she's actually recovering very well.
Oh no, yeah, we follow her on Instagram, so follow her at the Dink Chick on Instagram, where you see her updates and stuff like that. She's also a coach at the Calgary Pickleball Center. And then, of course, me and Victor are going to be on the selection committee. So our vote is going to count as one. So we have to agree on our crap before we put our vote in, which might cost a little bit of headbanging, but we'll see. So we're super stoked about that. Super thank you to everyone who are giving us this opportunity to at least represent Team Canada in some way. This has kind of been a pipe dream for me to represent Canada at some point in a sporting event. So even if it just being part of the executive selection committee is awesome. I told Yui I want a shirt, and he already said he's going to get us one. So
nice, it'll be fun.
Because I'm okay, and I'm going to post the logo here for the Team Canada Pickleball. The logo is awesome. It's like the pickleball with the maple leaf with Canada. Like, it looks really clean and really neat. So shout out to whoever designed that. And also Tyrell Pickleball is the official shoe sponsor. So by the sounds of it, they're going to have team shoes. You're going to have a team uniform and stuff like that. So that's great. That's awesome. So for those of you who are interested in being on that, so you have to have played an MiLP, at least one event. Right, and it has to be in what they're calling the open division. So I'm assuming that's like the DUPR 22 or the DUPR 20, because some events didn't have DUPR 22. Yep. So like how you perform there will take effect. But if you go to Full Send Pickleball, you send your info to fullsendpickleball@gmail.com. If you go to their website, they have what they're asking for. So like your name, your bio, your recent tournaments and stuff like that. Shoe size, height.
Below 5.5 DUPR.
I think you have to be below 5.5. So and that makes sense because this is like amateur, right? So you don't want you're not going to send the pros, right?
I was interviewing Ernesto. He's a little bit upset about that. He's like, "Oh, should I tank my DUPR now to represent Canada?" Anyway,
Ernesto, you're already getting paid. You're already getting paid to play. Let someone else have the glory for once. Like, come on.
Anyway, just him ranting randomly.
No, yeah, well, yeah, but when eventually it becomes an Olympic thing, like right now, if you look at aside from like Catherine Parento, like I think Ernesto is one of our top men.
Yeah.
For that selection, if you are, because I think at that for Olympics you'd select the pros unless the freaking PPA is dicks about it, like some sports. But why wouldn't you want the pros to go represent country and stuff like that? Like, come on.
Yeah, well, they should, and hopefully their exclusivity contracts not gonna affect that anyway. It's still far.
Yeah, that's still far off. That's
still very far.
Like we said, pipe dream. But yeah, we're super excited to be part of Team Canada and help select the players going to Fort Lauderdale. So the event is October 27th to November 2nd. Unfortunately, Irene can't try out because we're away on a family vacation, which we planned like a year and a half ago. So we're gone like the exact same time because I was like, I wanted to put. I would have put both of our names in because technically me and her are ranked 6th and 7th right now in DUPR 20 in Canada. So
nice.
But
I should have put my name, but it's too close to the baby. So I was like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly right, but I'm just super stoked to help pick the team. So, and we got lots of really good players to pick from. So, and hopefully we do a good job picking with everyone, and we at least get up in top 3 would be nice to finish.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I'll be watching from my family vacation. Hopefully, it's streamed somewhere where we can watch it.
Yeah, it should be streamed on YouTube. Last few years has been like last year they did an even better job. Like the first year was like a little choppy, and then it's not well, it wasn't well centered. The second year they did a much better job at it. And
it's one of those things where you're going to see the growing.
This team to get this team. So it's much better. I would just suspect this year is going to be in US, so it's probably be even better.
And you're getting more money involved in it now that it's growing through like the Global Pickleball Federation with so many more countries getting involved. So there's more money coming in. There's more sponsorship money coming in. So it's going to turn into basically like if you want to, it's basically because it's the World Cup, it's going to be one of those yearly things where it's going to be like bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And, bragging rights if you win, right? Representing country.
Yeah. And maybe eventually become something like some sort of like tennis, like a Grand Slam, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, yeah, because aside from the team event, they also just have regular games, like regular brackets and stuff going on.
Exactly.
So like you could go play in that and then go watch the team play stuff, right?
Well, actually, sorry, the analogy should be not the Grand Slam. Should be like the tennis Davis Cup. Sorry, Davis Cup.
Yeah, exactly, right? So super excited about that. There might be more people named to the selection committee, but that is the group as of now. But we're super excited to be part of that. I can't wait for the call to whether we're doing group chat or group calls or whatever, where we're discussing which players to select. So, but make sure you get your stuff in. I think the deadline is
July
the 31st of this month. So if you want to have a chance to represent Team Canada, make sure you get your stuff into Full Send Pickleball. And we'll be looking forward to see your bio.
Yeah, it will be fun.
All right, so moving on for what was originally the main title of this episode, so the prelude to the CNPL Western Split coming up. Now, we'll address the one thing right away. The Pronghorns have been flipping through players like they're candy or something. Originally dropped Jacob because Jacob wasn't available, and then picked up Mark Gottfried, and now Mark Gottfried is unavailable. So now they've moved over to Mikel Gamont, who played for the Southwestern Ontario Brewers last year in that runner-up position to the Lions. Mikel's a great defensive player, great counter punches. He complimented Mark Clemenson so well last year. I was actually really surprised someone didn't pick him up in the draft this year.
Yep.
Also a very good teammate, like him and Kyle switching spots back and forth last year. Neither of them being upset and just being good teammates and cheering each other on about it. So that's a really good defensive player to come in and play. I'm going to assume he's playing with Brad and then like have Chris come in as like kind of like, that jolt of energy depending on how they're going.
Yep.
But like, yeah, like we kind of like what we said the last time we were talking about these teams. We'll start with the Pronghorns. Kind of want to see them be a little bit more like their biggest issue right now is they're mixed. Like I don't think they've won a mixed game yet, or something like that.
No, Jacob did.
Oh no, so they won mixed. I think it was their men's team. Sorry, hasn't won yet.
Yeah, it's the men's that has it's more problematic right now. The mix is fine. I think
the mix has at least been winning 1 out of 2. The women's are about 50-50 right now, I think, but it's the men's who have
right.
So basically, you're starting down 1-0, basically, like the way that's been going, right? So you want to see them kind of lock it in, and like this is a team full of vets, right? There's nobody who's a stranger to this league. You have Brad Chapman, Kim Layton, Chris Elaine, Carolina Hack, who was on the inaugural winning team for Toronto United. Same thing, like Mikel now joining the team. Antonetta, who played for the Lions last year, right? Like, so everyone on this team is an experienced player at this league. So you just need to see them kind of put it all together.
It's just team chemistry.
Right?
It's just missing team chemistry. I think right now, and sometimes not easy. Right, it takes time in order to get into the groove. We say that.
Yeah, exactly. And well, like the nice thing, like aside from Mikel, now this is like we said, a last minute signing because it was literally announced Monday.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
Right. So, but at least like you have Chris, Kim, and Brad are all in Calgary, so they can at least all kind of drill together and practice together. So we'll see. Like, but I'm expecting the Pronghorns to do a little bit better than 2 and 4. This coming weekend. And like we said on the before, I'm really interested to see them versus the Owls because it's kind of like polar opposites playing. Because the Pronghorns are more of like that steady kind of chess match players, whereas the Owls are like the in your face, aggressive
Yeah, just
type of deal, right?
so super banger mindset, right?
Yeah, exactly. So then we talk about the Detroit Windsor Drive. Like they played decently well at the previous events. They were in pretty much every game, but just couldn't like get that final win.
Yeah, just the closeout. We call that the closeout. And that's a couple of teams from the West has this problem too.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, and we're not saying like they go to like the tiebreaker, but it's like there was a lot of matches where it was like 21-20 they lost, or it was 21-19, and a lot of those ones may have been the team that was up first, and then just
a lot
couldn't
of times,
close out
not just once. A lot of times you're like,
Yeah.
you're expecting them actually pull out for the win. No, they let the other team actually come back, and then you're like, oh damn.
Yeah, and so with the drive, what I would really like to see is I want to see Jonas and Natalie play together more.
Mhm.
We know that's a team that works. They played together last year. They've been playing a crap ton together in tournaments in Ontario, whether it's the APA or whatever of multiple events that Ontario has
They even
going
play
on.
at PPA Challengers, which is pretty good.
Right, so they know each other inside out. They have good chemistry together. So like that should be one of your mixed teams right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have West there, and I'd say between Alexis and Audrey, I'd probably put Audrey in there. Audrey was a little bit more consistent than Alexis. If we're talking about starting 4, Wes and Jonas played really good there, and like we said, there was a lot of those matches where they were right in it and just couldn't get over that hump. So I'm hoping that they met up early and are practicing a little bit more to get kind of that finishing flow together.
Yep.
And then for Audrey and Natalie, same thing. It's like hopefully because Audrey lives in Ontario as well, so hopefully she got a couple of training sessions in with like Natalie and Jonas and stuff, and was able to get some more stuff in with to get that chemistry down. Because same thing, it was kind of a chemistry thing with this team too, kind of like the Pronghorns.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to here we'll do the Owls first because we have a special thing with lights that we're gonna do at the end here. So the Owls, honestly, this team is probably, if you're talking about potential, this team has the most potential, just based off of how they played at the last event to like really push up the standings. Like,
well, it seems like they're a little bit more like just line up or the way they play. They should be the team that is like not saying the other team. So I don't want to get myself in trouble. Not saying all other team are not good, but they are I would say the top standing team in the West.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, and they also have the best record right now in the West at 3-3. And there was probably a couple losses that they had at the Eastern Split, which they probably shouldn't have lost. Mm-hmm. But this is also a very young team, and you can see it.
Very explosive team. I call that explosive team. Definitely.
Yeah, and you saw it happen a couple times. Like when they won, it was dominant fashion. Like there was some 21-9. 21-10 wins, right?
It was a blowout, basically.
Right. But on the flip side, you also saw them get in their own heads and then lose 21-9, 21-10 against teams that they had already beaten.
Yeah.
Right. So it's and after the Eastern Split, they were one of the few teams to push the Lions to a tiebreaker. Yeah. Right. So
they have the skills and they have the power to actually be the top, but it's the mental toughness or the team, maybe the team that strategy sometimes might be sometimes not fully there that cost them.
Yeah, exactly right. And just like everyone else, they kind of, mixed around the lines a little bit, getting people in. The only two people who didn't sub out was Christina and Armand.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going like, and as much as I thought Eric played really
which
well,
you don't really want them to be subbed out on. In
no,
theory.
exactly. Well, and they're both young. They're both young enough that they're not going to get that tired, especially when you're only playing like 6 games.
Yeah, exactly. Like why
Right?
would you
So,
sub them out, right?
well, I think the first event you're doing it to check dynamics, like team
Yep.
dynamics out. But
Mhm.
I think now, especially now that you've had time to practice and stuff like that, um, I thought Armand and Kalen was the strongest men's pairing between the
Yep.
combinations. And they've played together before. Like I said, when they got drafted together, I was just like, oh, someone was watching the Western qualifier because they played against Brad and Chris and pushed them to the limit,
Mhm.
right? And that was like both of them coming in as kind of newbies, right? So, and like they can train together, they can practice together. Like that's the one nice thing about all the guys on this team. They're all from Vancouver, Langley area.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And they can practice. They practice like with Michael McCaffrey all the time too.
Exactly, right. So like I'm very, but if I'm looking at the stats, when I pulled up the stats last time, Kalen was the most consistent male player as far as win percentage went, both in men's and in mix. So I would like to see him get a little bit more time. Armand's not going to come out because, like, honestly, Armand's on pace. If he plays the way the wins show him playing, he's on pace to basically be what you would call the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Right. So you just need that consistency, right? And then you have Anna Deshenko and Ava Weeks. Probably you'd put Anna in over Ava just for a little bit more attacking ability. Now, I've played against Ava recently, and Ava's counterpunching and her backhand drive has gotten insanely better from last year. Like,
Yep.
she caught me down the line a couple of times, even when I was expecting it. She's just gotten so much better at placing it there. But I'm thinking just with the dynamic of Christina, I think Anna kind of complements that a little bit better because Christina, as good as she does really good when she sets up her partner.
Yeah.
And it's not the typical setup. It's not like, okay, I'm going to dink and pull them over. She sets it up with like, it's almost like a medium power shot and pulls people wide or pulls people in. And then her partner's there to kind of finish it.
Yeah.
And Anna's got a little bit more finishing power than Ava does right now. Now, like I said, Ava's been working on it. And so you can sub Ava in, and I don't think it's going to hurt them. But if I'm talking about starting 4, I would go Christina, Anna, Armand, and Kalen with Kalen and Anna playing together and Christina and Armand playing together.
Well, it's also because how we gonna, like, let's say I have Christina with Anna. We know Anna is gonna be on the left, and Christina can stay on the right? But now if you put Christina with Ava,
Christina's going on the left and Ava's on the right.
Yeah, then Christina, her setup job is less relevant now. She needs
It's because she has a really good forehand roll, but I find it's more effective when she's on the right because she's able to pull it.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Right? So therefore they're not as devastating as having Christina on the right? So that's probably why you want, like, if you want to sub Ava in, they probably want to sub Christina out because now Ava is going to be on the right. But
yeah, and I don't know if you're going to do that. Like I said, it can work with Ava, but Ava needs to then, because they're going to go at her because she's on the right now, and because she's got such a good backhand drive down the line, she needs to then initiate that more to make them then go back to Christina, so then Christina can do her own thing, type of thing. But right now, because of how that dynamic works, at least the last time we saw it, right. That's why I'm saying right now, Anna on there, Anna and Christina, Armand and Kalen, and like I said, Ava can come in. Like, say if someone goes down with an injury or if someone needs a break. Because you never know, you might have a marathon match with marathon rallies, and you need a break because there are some back-to-back games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. So if someone needs a break, she can come in and she's totally serviceable, and it's not like it's not like a guaranteed loss. It's you will be in that fight.
Yeah.
Regardless, right? So it's not like she's not a detriment to the team. But yeah, like if we're talking like your best offensive chance, I would go with Anna and Christina to start, with Armand and Kalen as the men's.
Yep.
And then to finish off with the Northern Lights, we made this thing last time. Like they kind of experimented the most out of any team, but they also out of their 4 losses, 3 of those went to tiebreakers. So even with the experimentation, they were still forcing teams to beat them in singles.
Exactly, which is good.
Yeah, and it is. And right now, their biggest, or at least as far as last event was, their biggest issue was their mixed. Their men's is solid with Lucas and Joel.
Yeah,
their
men's is basically at least like minimum. There's the second best men's pairing almost.
Yeah, exactly. And so because even if they lose, it's going to be like a 21-20 type match. Like they're not getting blown out at any point. So you have
Joel with Lucas is like
it's like against like the best men's teams there. They're like it's like a 50-50 toss up type of thing. It just depends on who's on. For their women's side, their women's teams, regardless of who's in, is actually pretty solid. But like we said, it's their mix and it's kind of the blends right now. And we're going to talk about this in a second because we did interview Lucas Wong, and we'll have that play right after we're done talking here. But when we were talking to Lucas, he mentioned he's been training a lot with Danielle Boss. So I got a feeling just based off of what Lucas said, you're going to see Joelle with Marie-Christine Salvez, which was a really good mixed pairing.
Yes.
And then Lucas with Danielle as the second, with Isabel and Graham as the subs. If they do end up subbing Isabel and Graham in, I would like to see them not sub in at the same time like they did last time.
Yeah, it's just sub one of the two because like that could be
it's a lot for 2 players who hadn't been playing.
Yeah.
Right. Like and it's funny because they actually won the first time they went in, they actually won their mixed match. But then you stuck them in. I want to say it was against like the Smash or something like that. And they ended up having to play like, well, it doesn't really matter on the Smash which mixed team you play. It's a hard out, right? But if you're gonna sub them in, I would say rotate the sub. Like if you're gonna say, for example, sell Isabel in for Danielle, do that, but then maybe don't sub Graham in the next match if like Lucas or Joel needs a break, type of thing, definitely. And like rotate that until they've both kind of got their feet playing with someone who's already done a couple matches, right? And that's kind of my only thing for that. But yeah, I'm expecting the starting for that one. Yeah, Joel and Lucas, Marie-Christine and Danielle seems to be the start that they're going to go with, and yeah, like we said, if they can sort out that mix a little bit, because they're going like, I think they're winning like the men's and the women's, but then it's the mix where they're losing
mix that
one.
Hurt. Yeah,
that's hurting them. And like Joelle and Marie-Christine are close and all that. Like I think they lost a couple of theirs, but they're always close. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a 50-50 toss up. Yeah, but that's why they were going to tiebreakers so much. And then because you went to tiebreakers so much last time, hoping a bunch of them worked maybe some more strategy with their singles games. Just because you already know that you're in the fight with everybody, but if it's going to that tiebreaker, make sure you got like a strategy in place. Whether it's you have to pair a man against a male against a female on the other team to try and counteract. Say if they have a really strong male player, you stick your really strong female player to maybe steal a point, and then let your weaker male player go attack their weak female and see if you can steal like all 3 points there, right? So
yeah.
So you might see some different strategy with them, and then plus they got Michael Chow on the sidelines there coaching, so you'll see some strategy coming out of them.
Definitely. So we'll see how they switch up. Hopefully for the best. And one last question for you: would you expect for each team's record for this Western Split?
If the Owls play to their potential, I could see them. I don't know about 6-0, but I could see them doing like a 5-1, a 4-2.
Yeah, I'll say they need to be at least 4-2.
Yeah, if they want to make a push for like first or second, they need to do a 4-2, right? For the drive and for the other 3 teams, actually, it's just the consistency. And someone's got to lose the games, right? Yeah. Because there's only 4 teams.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is with all the like I said, if the Owls play to their potential, they have the potential, at least like we said, by the way they were winning in the Eastern Split in comparison to like how some of the other teams were winning. If they play to that potential the way they were winning, they have a good chance of having the best record. But like the Pronghorns also, if they lock in that team chemistry, just that experience factor of not getting rattled and stuff like that, they have also the potential to do like a 4-2. I would like to see like a bare minimum of 3-3 out of them.
Yeah, kind
Type
of like
thing.
all the other 3 teams needs to at least get 3-3
Yeah,
in
exactly,
order to
right?
stay close.
Yeah, because right now, if you go 2-4 right now, then you're going to be tied with the Brewers, right, for that last spot. So like you at least want to leapfrog the Brewers and not get stuck in that last spot, because it looks like, at least looking at the website right now for CNPL, it's going to be a 1v8 and 2v7. Like I don't know if they're doing that play-in like they did last year. I think that was an experiment that I don't know if they're sticking with. We'll find out more as the season progresses. But right now, if you go actually to the championship weekend, they're showing who's first versus who's 8th.
Gotcha.
Right now, I think they have it just automatically like doing that. So you don't want to be stuck against the Lions in the first round. Right? So you want to avoid that possibility at all costs. Like the Brewers might, because the Brewers are one of the few teams that's beaten the Lions. But
true,
you don't.
But
I
still.
don't know if you really want to play that game of roulette with that. So
yeah, that'd be very risky.
Right, so you want to get up there because it is obviously it's beneficial to be in like the top 2 spots at least, because you're going to get some type of at least a more favorable matchup, you would think. Definitely. So yeah, I'd like to see at bare minimum, and I know we're basically asking for everyone to kind of win and lose then, but I think the bare minimum goal for the Drive Lights and Pronghorns should be a 3-3 break, because at least then it's like you're showing those steps, you're taking those steps. You're playing everyone twice, so even if you go 1-1 with everyone, right? Like I said, Pronghorns, and like I said, because of the lineup changes and stuff, it's gonna be, if they can get that chemistry locked down and play the way that we know, like Brad and Kim and Chris are able to play. If they can lock that in, they can do better. They can do good. And like same thing with the Lights. If the Lights can even if they still end up going to tiebreakers all the time, if they can win a couple of those tiebreakers, like if you think about it, they lost 3 tiebreakers, so they were that close to being 5-2, being 5-1, right? So
yeah, they can definitely. Well, they show the potential they can make it, right?
Yeah, and then for the Drive, same thing. It's just getting over that hump of winning those games to, at bare minimum, force a tiebreaker and give yourself a shot.
Yep.
Right, so like all these teams were really close. Just could like the Eastern teams, when they played them, had it put together a little bit quicker. So now you're looking for all these teams to take that next step and finish the match or finish the shot or like force the tie break and make the other team beat you that way, type of thing, right? So
definitely.
And a bare minimum, if you're going to lose, you want to get to the tiebreaker, because then it's like points for and against and wins losses for and against, right? So
are they gonna put it on YouTube this time too? Do you know?
From what I heard, they're doing it on both, kind of like what they did for the Eastern Split, where they had it on both
in Game Plus, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna just in case, I'm gonna have my my box set to record the Game Plus, because I unfortunately am working, so there's no guarantee that I can watch it live. Are you commentating, Victor?
Yes, I'll be commentating on Sunday, 1:00 their time, or 2:00 their time, something like that.
Okay, so 1:00 our time, because we're an hour ahead right now, right?
Yeah, we're an hour ahead.
Yeah, so
I think the 2 first match I'm not commentating, and I'm doing the rest of them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and if I'm off, I'll jump on with you.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because obviously I won't be able to go to Edmonton and watch Irene play, so she'll be playing on Sunday for the women's division, but in Spruce. But
yeah, Irene will be playing with me at 4-5, and I'm playing with Lester at 4-0.
I expect a gold out of that. I looked at your bracket. Or I looked at the teams in your pool.
Now you're putting pressure on me.
I'm definitely putting pressure on you.
I'm already putting pressure on myself. I have to win 11-0 and every freaking match in order to keep my DUPR.
Oh, of course you make the call back to that. All right,
see that connection?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So as we were mentioning, we did get to interview the number 2 overall pick, Lucas Wong from the Northern Lights. So we're gonna cut to that now. Take it away. Go. All right, everyone. Let's give a big welcome to number 2 overall draft pick and member of the Northern Lights pickleball team, Lucas Wong. Lucas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for inviting me to be part of the podcast today.
Oh yeah. Thanks, thanks for the cheer, Vic. So yeah, Lucas. So obviously you're really well known in Ontario, because I heard nothing but good things when I went to the Western qualifier from Mike and a bunch of the other guys that were there. But for a lot of the players out in the West, let's start with an easy one. How did you get into pickleball?
Yeah, absolutely. So a while back, I think it was just after COVID, the golf course where me and my wife were members put in courts. So we went and thought we'd give it a try, and it was a lot of fun. Not that we were doing it correctly. We were kind of standing at the back of the court, or even a few steps in, just whacking the ball back and forth. We like to call it hit and giggle looking back at it. But then towards the end of the summer, there was like a 4-0 group that came out, and they were awesome. And I was just watching them, and then they let me play in with them a little bit. And then they said, if you want to play through the winter, come join this club. So then I got involved in a club through the winter, and then it took off from there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's actually very similar to the way my wife and I joined as well. It was kind of like COVID, and it was actually for us, it was a guy at the gym, and he'd always miss certain nights because he was always coming in the same time. I was like, well, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm playing pickleball. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And then we went and tried it out, and it's kind of the same way.
Yeah, Lucas, may I ask you, do you have any like racket sport background beforehand?
Yeah, for sure. So I played a good amount of badminton in high school. So that would have been about 15 years ago that I stopped playing badminton. And then I played some squash in university, not on the team or anything like that, just with friends. And then a little bit of tennis here and there. Like I'll play a couple times a summer with my brother, a few times in the winter with my dad, but no real tennis experience. But I would say badminton was the biggest one.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, watching you play in the Central Split, I definitely noticed there was some type of either badminton or squash there. Well, just the way you were moving on the court and the way you hit the ball, for sure.
Yeah, no, I find it's useful to have a lot of different racket sports when it comes to pickleball. There's a few shots you can take from all of them. No one sport is going to set you up for success, but I mean, tennis certainly is a good start.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, myself, I came definitely from tennis myself. I've been a very avid tennis player, and then I just kind of transitioned to pickleball because I started to have arm injury, unfortunately, but because of over-serving. So pickleball is like a good thing. I don't need to hit like overheads, yes, but you're not serving from overhead, right? So.
For sure. So when I come out west, you're going to give me a driving lesson then, or a ground stroke lesson?
No, Bob.
Out of the two of us, Vic is the one to talk to about that. I come from more of a ping pong thing, so yeah. I'm good with spins and deception shot, but Vic is definitely like drive. You
got the risky stuff at the net.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Andrew has the risky stuff at the net. I'm just the banger at the back, just coming at you at any ball possible.
All right, I'll take a lesson from both of you then.
All right. So basically, on another question for you. So when you obviously it was your first time joining the CNPL league. Well, how did you feel getting the phone call with Chow, and then letting you, we want to pick you up for the Northern Lights, and then suddenly you were the number 2 overall pick. So how excited it was.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster. So the year before, I had considered going out, but a big reason I wanted to join the CNPL was to see the top talent all across the country. And I know that the first season, there was a lot of talented players, but there's a few holdouts. So when I saw the second season, all the top players were going to be there, I thought now would be a good time to go, but I don't know if I was quite ready last year. So this year, I'd played a lot more tournaments. I think prior to last year's qualifier, I'd only played 2 tournaments before. And then I played a lot in this fall and spring. And kind of going into the fall, I had a good feeling that I was going to try out for the CNPL. And the goal was just to get drafted. And then as it got to, a month or 2 before, I started to hear that I could go in the top 4 rounds, and I thought that's fantastic. And then there's kind of the week of where I started talking to a few teams, and they expressed an interest in taking me even earlier than that. So it was a bit of a roller coaster, just from one, wanting to play in the league at all, and then two, finding out I was going to go in the first round. But I do really appreciate Michael taking that leap of faith in me. Especially as a newer competitive player, it was a big risk by him, but I hope to pay him back for that.
Gotcha.
No,
Another.
and from what we've seen so far, you've been doing a great job.
Yeah,
Thanks.
definitely, and we see it from your performance, and I've been following also the other tournament, the ARA, and some of the Ontario tournament, and you have been performing very, very well, and that, I think that result just shows that you belong to the league, and you belong to be the top players up there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I do. I've mostly played men's tournaments to date. I've had the benefit of having a lot of great partners, which has helped along the way. I'm a bit newer to mixed and singles, so I'm sure you saw in the first tournament the results weren't quite there, but I try not to get too focused on the results. It's a process, and it's always about continual improvement. So I've been working a lot on my mixed game lately, and I expect to surprise a few people at the next tournament. And then singles is a completely different animal, but I'm working on that too.
Yeah, that definitely as is a different animal. For me, it's a different story. Obviously, I come from tennis, so actually I kind of grew from single to doubles, but the different sports come a different way. But obviously, once you play, the more you play, the more understanding you get to play. So, and we can see you're adapting very quickly. So that I won't see it will be a problem for you.
Come October, I hope not.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and it's funny because I'm actually like the reverse of that. I was playing, me and my wife kind of went through it together. So I got used to mixed really, really quick. And then it was actually adjusting to the men's game. Whereas because I was having trouble finding a consistent partner, I was like the reverse of that. So I was really, really good at mixed right away. And then adjusting to the men's where you're sharing a little bit more. And because of how the style I play, I needed that super aggressive partner. So it took me a while to like build that part up.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing, switching back and forth, just a little bit of positioning things and how aggressive to be. Because in men's, especially if you find that balanced partner, you have that 50-50 split. And building good partnerships takes a lot of time too. So I'm trying to build that with Danny, and I think we're off to a great start. And we've been talking lots, and I think you're going to see we're a bit more in tune for the next tournament.
Perfect. Looking forward to that.
That's great.
And speaking of spouses, another awesome thing that happened at the draft was your wife got drafted as well. How excited were you for her with that?
I was very excited for her. It's something she's been working hard on for the last year. She's really put in a lot of hours, and she's progressed very quickly. So I'm very proud of her for getting taken. It was a little funny that we ended up playing against them in the first match. That would have been difficult if we ended up on opposite sides of the net from each other, but luckily we avoided that.
Yeah. Did you plan in advance? Did the team owners talk together? Like, let's not play, have them play against each other?
I don't know what happened there. We did get the interview question a lot when teams were seeking us out for the draft about whether we needed to be on the same team or whether we were okay being on separate teams. And we're certainly okay being on the same team because we play most of our mixed tournaments together. But being on opposite teams is no problem either, because at the end of the day, it's just pickleball. We're going to go home, and we're not going to let it affect things at home too much.
That's perfect. Love hearing that. I go ahead, Vic, with the next one.
Oh yeah, definitely. So now, obviously, like the Northern Lights, a new team, completely new team that Chow and Jason actually pulled up. Now, obviously, everyone except Joel Peltier, that's the only player that came back. How do you feel Joel was able to kind of help the team to help you or other team members to integrate into this kind of the league?
Yeah, no, Joel's been a tremendous help. From day one, I think he called me like the day after the draft, and we started talking, not just about what we want to do, but about, what to expect. And he just has that experience to, if there are any nerves, ease nerves going into it, just so you have a better idea of what you can expect from the tournament. And then on the court itself, it's helpful just having him beside me help navigate our way through games, because MLP is a very different style from traditional tournaments. And I'm used to traditional tournaments where if you play very solid, you can get your way through the finish. Whereas MLP, you need to be a bit more aggressive. You need to earn some points at the end of the game on your serve. So with that comes a bit of a change in strategy. So he's really helped in that regard. And then I can't speak highly enough about Joel as a person either. There's a reason we picked him as our team captain, and I think it was pretty unanimous. He's a tremendous guy and a tremendous teammate. So we were very lucky to have him, and I can't believe he fell to where he did in the draft. We had no expectation of getting him.
No, yeah, when we saw him get picked up by you guys, I was like, "Oh, that is a great pairing right off the hop." You get you coming in as like the new kid on the block, but like with huge amounts of potential, and then you have like the steady vets to kind of like help with that process. So as soon as we saw that pick, I was like, "Oh, this men's, at least at bare minimum, the men's team is going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure."
Absolutely. And I mentioned earlier, it takes a lot of time to develop chemistry with a partner, and I will say it felt very comfortable right from the start with him. The only time we played together was 2 or 3 games the day before on the Friday, and then we were right into the CNPL on the Saturday. And I felt like there's very few miscues in terms of who was supposed to take what or coverages. And so, no, it's been really good having him.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That it shows that you guys are playing well together. So which is great. And if obviously you have a good men's pairing and have 2 solid male player, you almost guarantee yourself a win, right? That will put you up already at 3-1. Even though I'm not saying anything against the ladies, but let's say the ladies have an off day, the males can take over and help them out, right?
Yeah, and we hope to be able to provide them with that comfort. But honestly, so far it's been the opposite, where they go out there, they're taking care of business, and they're making it pretty easy on us to go out there and play a comfortable game. So no, we're really happy with our team.
Perfect.
That's great.
And of course with Michael being the owner and him already being an insanely experienced player and coach, how beneficial for the team has it been to have him on the sidelines coaching you guys?
Very beneficial. Like you mentioned, he's got tremendous experience. But not only that, he runs a great team in the sense that he's always looking for our feedback and opinions on things. At the end of the day, he's probably going to make the decision, but just feeling like your voice is heard matters a lot. And I've heard stories that maybe not every team is run that way, and I think it's brought us really close together. And then it lets us all lend different perspectives to any individual match or any individual strategy, because might be things that even as a great pickleball mind, he doesn't see that Joelle picks up on or that Marie-Christine picks up on. And that's really helpful to kind of have that committee approach to things.
Perfect.
Definitely. So now we're going a little slightly more personal. So we're just talking about like how about like obviously like today you just came back probably from practice. How's like your routine or any like kind of mental approach before you go into a tournament or matches?
Yeah, so I spend a good amount of time on court. During the fall and winter, when I'm playing with my male partner, Tyler, we will play or drill 4 times a week and sometimes mix in a 5th day. And then I'll also join Serena on the court for 1 or 2 days. So I'm usually on the court about 6 out of 7 days. Last summer, I dialed it back a little bit, but this summer hasn't been the case. So this summer, I've started drilling with some different people, still get out with Serena lots. And so I usually will drill a lot and then mix in, 1 or 2 games a week. And then the week or 2 before a tournament, I switch to mostly games, because at that point you've put in the reps and it's about getting into the kind of that, your mind into game speed.
I see. Yeah. Basically, I need to change my routine. I've been playing more than drawing. Whoops.
Honestly, there's value in both. If you can find that 50-50 approach, I think that's really useful. Just because in 20 minutes with the ball machine or with the partner, you're going to hit as many balls as you do in 2 hours playing a game. And so if there's anything you want to work on, that's the time to do it. And then you can go work on certain situational things in the game, like patterns you want to play, certain shots you want to try and hit, or just, court coverage things with your partner. So I think it's important to do both.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably why I still suck.
Nice self-deprecation there, Vic.
Yeah.
All right. Also more personal question. So,
Mhm.
if you have the chance to pick whatever partner you want, pick our partner, U.S., Canada, what will be your ideal men's and your ideal mix? That's definitely a tricky question for you.
Ooh, like anyone in the world?
Anyone in the world.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if we're talking Canada, I like the partners I do have already. Um, I think having Anna Lee would be the obvious choice. One, because she plays such an aggressive style for a female, and that would complement my more balanced style and mixed, although I am working on a bit more aggressive style there as well. But for now, that style would really complement mine. Um, and then for men's doubles, that's a tricky one. Just because I say left, I'm going to say Gabe
Oh
Tardio.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh
he
yeah.
can also create a lot of pressure, and people are so afraid of his forehand. It kind of lets you cheat towards the middle a little bit as that left player. Um, but I just really like what he's doing with Ben, especially lately. So I would probably lean towards Tardio. But otherwise, I would stick with Joelle and my partner Tyler in London here, and then for females, Serena and Danny. So, but in terms of pros, those you can't go wrong with Gabe and Annalie.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
those are great picks. Great picks.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're the top players. Like, it's like I think it's everyone's dream to have them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Andrew, anything for you from your side?
Um, for me, probably final question for me, Lucas, is so for the upcoming Western Split, what team in particular are you guys kind of the most excited to play against? Like, what do you think is going to be like a good, like, even if it's a clash of styles or just like a electric match, which team are you kind of looking the most forward to playing?
That's a good question. I would say I'm interested to see each of the teams for different reasons. They all have great reputations and great players. There's been a lot of talk about the Vancouver Owls, and as the home team, I guess I would say them because there's most likely to be a bit more atmosphere around that game with a lot of their fans in the area. And they were a lot of fun to watch in London. So I would lean slightly towards Vancouver, although I'm interested to see each team for different reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great answer with
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, that's true. You
Which
guys didn't play any of those teams, right? So it'll be us
no,
probably new. Did you guys do any scouting report?
yeah, not as a team yet, but I've watched pretty much all the games from London a few times, and we've got some notes. And Joelle and I and Danny and I will compare notes, kind of the week leading in, because we're all going to go up to Vancouver a little bit early, so lots of time to talk strategy and watch some film. But I'm sure, knowing our teammates, they've all done their individual homework. It's just going to be about comparing notes after that.
Mm, nice.
Which matchup are you most interested to see? And it doesn't have to include the Northern Lights, although it might be the wrong answer if it doesn't.
um, for me, honestly, I kind of have two. I'm very interested in seeing you guys versus the Drive because it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of the clash of a lot of new players on
Mm-hmm.
both teams with that one. So I'm very interested to see how that one goes. And then the Owls versus the Pronghorns, just because the Pronghorns, but with having like Brad Chapman and Kim Layton, you kind of have like that steady patient, where the Owls are definitely a
Mm-hmm.
lot more like in your face aggressive. So that's kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
steady versus fast, and then the two kind of like the newcomers, seeing which team between you guys kind of makes the best clash and who's made the best adjustments since the previous split. Because both,
Yeah,
I noticed
absolutely.
I noticed between you guys and the Drive, there was a lot more between aside from the other teams, a lot more line combination testing, seeing who
Mm-hmm.
meshed well with who. And now that you guys kind of have that locked in, or at least figured out to from practices and stuff, I'm interested to see which one of you guys comes through and pushes that envelope the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have about the same thing. It'll be interesting. Like, obviously, like you guys non-indite and the drives technically more east than west, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like more like almost it's still like a east-west kind of like a combination clash. That'll be a very very interesting to watch. And I have a feeling
Mm-hmm.
like you guys Northern Lights and Drive has a pretty like similar kind of lineup versus the Pronghorns and the Owls has a like kind of a like more as spread out kind of a performance versus how you guys have all your players are more kind of pretty close level to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm very interested in that matchup as well. I've seen a lot of Jonas in tournaments. Just we play in a ton of the same tournaments, and usually we'll find them at some point. But Wes Gabrielson looks like a really exciting player. It's not often you see someone who can flip hands so effectively and who is as crafty as he is. So I'm excited to play against him too.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw Wes Gabrielson, that reminded me of Andrew. Andrew is exactly how how he plays, basically.
Okay, I'm really going to need that lesson then.
Yeah. Okay, I guess Wes Gabrielson maybe 10 years ago. I don't know about that. I'm still only four or five, barely cracking 5-0 at this point. But I am ambidextrous just like he is, but I think he's way better at it than I am. So
do you ever get crossed up switching hands? Like, do you ever do it when you shouldn't, or is it pretty natural that you can anticipate when you should and shouldn't?
I've crossed up once or twice, but most of the time, it's actually most of the time I'm not even thinking about it. It's just the reaction to get to the ball. But depending on where I am on the court, like if I'm playing on the right side more often, it's normally just covering that middle shot. So it will just I'll instinctively have two hands on the paddle, and then that left hand will just kind of shoot out to get that fourth shot or fifth shot reset in. And then if I'm on the left, it's more so if you're gonna stick me wide, then now you have to watch out for a left-handed ATP type of thing.
Yeah. Well, Wes, if you're watching, turn off your camera for a sec. What's the most awkward spot on the body for an ambidextrous person that I can hit at him?
Oh, for me, in that transition, so not quite middle, but as it's transitioning. So I think West is a little bit more left hand dominant. So it's as he's transitioning to the right. For me, would be when I'm transitioning to the left.
Perfect. That's all I need to know.
All right, maybe one last question, Lucas. So I will say, would you eventually, not probably not right now, eventually do a little bit like what some of our Canadian pros did, like moving all the way to the US, or maybe even starting to compete a little bit more in the US, because obviously they have more tournaments, and they also have definitely much different quality and different level of players over there. Was it be one of your ambition?
Yeah, that's a possibility. I would say it's pretty unlikely that I would make a move to the US permanently. Just at the stage in my life that I'm at, that would be a pretty extreme move. But you never know, because I've started to look at the odd US tournament. You guys know Mark Clemenson from the Southwest Ontario Brewers. We've been looking at playing a US tournament for a long time together. And if we had a ton of success, you never know what might come of it. But I certainly don't have the expectation of making the PPA tour and moving to Florida. But like I said, we'll try a tournament out, and you never know what happens from there.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I like that. It's the goal there with but you keep the expectations thing, but then if they come, then you're willing to expand it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and my partner Tyler are always good about setting goals, and he takes the summer off to play tennis, so he's not as interested in traveling to the States and playing in those tournaments, especially with a young family. But our goals are always changing, and once you accomplish a goal, what's there to do but set another one? So yeah, you never know what's going to happen down the road. But for now, I think the goal is to start winning some more of these Ontario tournaments and stop losing to Mark and Louis Charles. And then from there, it would be win a CNPL title, and then you never know what comes after that.
Very good answer.
Perfect.
I like that.
I can't think of a better answer to end that on. So we've taken so much of your time. You've been so gracious with it. Thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us.
Thanks.
So if people want to follow you, say on socials, where can they follow you at?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. My account is just lwong246, and there's a picture of me playing pickleball, and with a blue background, it'll be hard to mistake. But thank you guys so much for having an interest in even having me on the show. I was surprised to get the call, but I was also very honored that you would think of me. So appreciate you having me.
Oh, thank you
Okay.
so much again.
Thanks,
Anytime.
Lucas, for actually taking time to answer the question. Also, that's always great talking to some pro players.
Absolutely. Will you guys be at the IPOP next month?
Unfortunately, no. With the I was originally planning on at least being off for it, but when they changed the dates, it didn't line up for work with me. So I'll be watching for sure, but I won't be able to be there in person, unfortunately.
I almost had that same conflict.
Yeah.
Me as a little bit the same thing. Actually, I'm playing during that tournament. There is a tournament closer to Edmonton that they'll be playing. I actually gonna play with the wife of Andrew, Ari.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah. Because I couldn't get it off from work, she was like, "Okay, well, I need a partner now." So she goes, "I'm gonna steal your podcast partner." So
that's awesome.
So,
all right. Well, I hope to meet you both soon. Then eventually,
yeah,
maybe at another one of the tournaments. But
we're trying to will into existence that Yui and Mike bring us to the championship weekend. So
exactly.
Oh, it would be a mistake not to.
Yeah, if you want to throw in a good word for us, we'd love that.
Yeah, it'll be good. We're trying.
I don't know how much my word carries with them, but I'll toss it out there and we'll see what they say.
I already told Yui I don't need a hotel. I can sleep on the pickleball court. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. All right. So once again, thank you so much, Lucas. Everyone follow Lucas on Instagram, follow the Northern Lights, and tune in for the Western Split on July 19th and 20th. It's going to be awesome to watch these guys play.
Can't wait. Let's go Lights.
Thanks again.
Have a good night.
All right. So big thank you to Lucas Wong. He was awesome to have on the show. Thank you for giving us so much of your time with that, Lucas. Good luck this weekend.
That's our special 50 episode. That's why we got it, right?
There we go, right? Yeah, 50 episodes already. Awesome. We got to do something awesome for the 100 one. Maybe we can get like a paddle or something and do a big giveaway or something like that.
There's paddle behind me.
Exactly. Yeah, Victor's got so many paddles. Maybe we can get some. Maybe I can get some like kitchen blockers or something to throw in with it, or some clean gear or something like that.
It'll be fun. I can throw whatever paddles behind me.
Oh, I got an idea. I might ask Yui if we can get this. Maybe get the Team Canada team to sign a jersey or something like that.
Jersey,
yeah,
that would be another.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna mention that to Yui that I want the team to sign one, and maybe we like auction it off for like me, and we'll pick like a like a foundation or something to send it to, like breast cancer or like something like that. Mention go in the comments, guys, and if we can work that out, where would you like us to donate? Like there's also Stollery, Children's Hospital, and a bunch of that stuff, which we're all big fans of. Before we head out, Vic, I do have another
blind ranking
for you, once again provided by Jesse Parks. He sent me a bunch, so this is awesome. Once again, thank you to Jesse for that. Also, guys, if you want to send me some blind rankings, don't forget to DM me at Gorms1307 on Instagram, and I'll make sure to give you a shout out like I did for Jesse here. I'm scrolling down here. There we go.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right. So like last time we did worst ways to lose a match. So this time we're doing best way to win a match.
Okay.
So opponent forfeit.
That's pretty bad, actually, to be honest. I'll feel bad for the opponent more than bad for myself. I'll put it 5, definitely.
I was going to say, I was surprised you didn't put it higher, because now you would get like an 11-0 win on DUPR.
That will put probably number 1 or 2, whatever. But okay, yeah, because I want to keep my DUPR. See that? See that?
Yeah.
Anyway, are you talking about forfeit or withdrawal or retirement?
Forfeit. So basically, okay. So for example, like what happened to me at Nationals a couple years ago, where my partner didn't show up and I was forced to forfeit the match. So I lost 11-0, 11-0, and then 15.
Because there's different kind of forfeit, right? So that'll educate a little bit the audience also. So a forfeit could be either the way Andrew just said, like didn't show up, but it could be also due to point penalty. So like you accumulate a number of the technical warning, technical fouls. You can also, because of that, you forfeit.
Okay, so we'll go with a forfeit either by not showing up or we'll say a possible injury, because I've won a match like that too before. Which
that'll be 5. That for sure does that. That didn't feel good, definitely.
Yeah, because I would say the technical one, I'm happy because that means I pissed them off enough to get them to yell enough to get right.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the others we call like withdrawing retirement, right? Retirement is they can't play. They're playing. They can't play anymore. That becomes a retirement. A withdrawal is they can't, like, they basically had an injury before and they cannot even they cannot start the next match. That'll be a withdrawal. So those are the term technicality.
Yeah. Next is body bag.
I like that. Let's put a 2 for now. I like that. Oh, wait. Right, and body bag or Nasty Nelson?
No, we're saying body bag for the, so like same thing that we said body bag last time. So it's like a hand battle and you get them, or it's like a short dink and then you speed it up and catch them in the chest.
Okay. Actually, let's put 3. Let's put 3 instead of 2. Let's change that.
Playing it safe. I like that. Ernie or ATP?
Oh yeah, that's good. That's feel good. That's definitely a 2. Big time. That's on the highlight reel right away on Instagram.
And then we have a long rally. So like say like a 30 dink plus rally.
It feels good, but it is what it is. Happens. We'll put 4. Sorry.
4. All right. So your automatic number 1 is a Nasty Nelson.
There you go. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, that feels good. That's definitely highlight reel, like 100%. I'll put it like 10 times on it.
And it's even better if it's a buddy of yours when you do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
if I meet Victor in a match and I actually win a match against him with a Nasty Nelson, like, because he's gonna look at me like, you asshole, and then I'm just gonna be laughing my ass off the whole time about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of balls you have to attempt that for the game-winning point is like.
Yeah. Well, just have the audacity to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Because like, usually you're probably not gonna do it with an opponent that you don't know, basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be against someone you're like very familiar with.
Because it's just like a teak, just like a play teak. You don't really want to do that against someone you don't know, because that really might piss the other guy pretty bad, or lady pretty bad. But against someone I know. Just like fair game, right?
The only other time I do it is if the person was being a dick and beaking the whole time. Then I might do it just to be a dick back. But
sure,
that's a pretty good list. I probably would have stuck long rally a little bit higher just because of the emotional release that happens when you win one of those. You know what I mean?
It's not as good as the other 2, right?
Well, it depends on the rally though. Like if it's like a rally where you've had to go back, then you've had to come forward, then you've sent them back, then they've come forward, and then you've dinked, and then you've sped up, and then you've reset it, like that type of thing. Like, just one of those marathon ones.
Yeah,
where it's
maybe, but I like the flashy stuff.
Oh no, the flashy stuff, of course. But like I'm imagining a rally where it's like the point could have been over like 5 or 6 times, and people just managed to keep it going, type of thing. Like those ones are good. But yeah, that's a good list, Vic. That was good. All right, everyone. So we will see you guys next week when we do the full recap of the Western Splits. So you're gonna get like triple episodes, like back to back to back here, because we're gonna do a full recap of the Western Split. And then the week after that, we're going to do like a preview for we're going to recap Alberta Provincials, which happened last weekend, but just because we didn't have enough time, we didn't cover it for this one. We're going to cover Victor and Irene's tournament. We're going to cover some the MiLP stuff that would have happened this coming week. Probably a bunch of other news coming out. So it's that time of year where it's just news on top of news on top of news.
One after the other. One after the other. You better enjoy it until you get to the fall time, which everything dies.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we do like multiple blind ranking episodes, or then we maybe discuss like the Ontario governing body fiasco that happened over this past year.
Big tobacco. Oh man.
Yeah.
Ay.
All right. So once again, everyone, thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And like we said, if you have a blind ranking for us, make sure to stick it in the comments. And I'll make sure to give you a shout out when I make Vic do it.
All right. See you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.